Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Newcomers. We're glad you're with us today because we have a heck of a show for you. In fact, it's a show where we're going to address some questions that could actually save your life.
And we have another great bubble wrap.
Hi, Jerry and Linda. Cardio drumming outside at Eastport. On this week's bubble wrap, I'm going to show you why it's so popular.
And Ask Amy.
Hi, April is Financial Literacy Month, so are you prepared?
A pet of the week.
And a whole lot more. Hit it, Wally.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
Thanks to everyone that watched the show on Friday. Linda went for a walk.
I did. I went for a walk in our neighborhood, and it's a nice walk. It usually is a 3-mile walk, but I took a little shorter one, but had a great time, and thanks for going along with me.
And you stopped at a yard sale. That tickled the fancy of a lot of our viewers. Those ladies out there love a good yard sale. Of course, I do too, if they've got man stuff.
Yeah, this one didn't have a lot of man stuff.
No.
This was a lot of women's clothes and shoes and some pillows and decor, but it was just one house, one pop-up, and I was thrilled. I had a great time.
Well, you heard her mention a chicken on the video. They had, you see these sandhill cranes in the yard, the sculptures or whatever you want to call them. They had one of a rooster, and I thought that would be cool if she put her painting touches on that. And when we went back to get it, they sold it, so we didn't get that.
No.
But it was a good time.
Thanks to everyone that joined us on our Wednesday Night Live. We had a nice little audience.
We did, and lots of our regulars were on there, and we have a good time. We talk about anything, and we give away prizes. We always ask a question, a trivia question, and if they get it right, boom, they'll win a prize. This past week, we had a gift certificate to Lowe's, and we had free value meals over at Culver's, and we had a couple of happy winners there, but it took some trying.
It sure did. You know what happens? We've kind of switched it up. We don't give the question parts. We have them call in, you call in, and then you get just a question just out of the hat.
We were down in Middleton the other day, and we stopped in a store called Abbott's. That's an ice cream place. They sell custard.
Yeah.
They don't sell ice cream, they sell custard. And trivia reminded me of this. We came out of the store and there were 3 school students there. I would say 15, 13, and 14 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood. They were sitting there, looked really good. They were in their school uniform, and I asked them, I said, hey guys, I just want to see what the quality of your education is. Tell me who the vice president is. Guy number 1 had no idea. Guy number 2 had no idea. Guy number 3, he thought about it a while and he said, J.D. Vance. I said, you're right. Now tell me who the last vice president was. Person number 1, nope. Person number 2, nope. Number 3, Kamala Harris. Yes, that's right. So, I caught him off guard, but still just trying to see, what are they teaching these kids today?
1 out of 3 ain't
1
bad.
out of 3. Well, that's in baseball, it's not bad. That's 333. That's get you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, we sold our red golf cart.
Yep.
Are you sad it was yours?
No. Although it was everything you could want in a cart. It had a dome light. It had USB ports. It had adjustable LT gray seats. It looked beautiful. It was a beautiful cart and had a beautiful red surround. And this is the year of IU, the IU Hoosiers, and it was perfect for that. But it was a gas cart, and we've gone electric. And I took a ride with it to take it to the new owner, and it was a long way away. It was all the way down near Middleton. It was noisy.
It took about an hour.
It's a quiet tech. So it was quiet for a golf cart,
Yeah.
but noisy compared to the electric. So we're electric cart snobs, and that's why we sold it. But we went to a great owner, and we hope we see it puttering around the villages.
Yeah, we do too.
We told you it was a special day because we're only going to really address a couple of questions, but they deal with health care. And what's more important than that? You got to have good health care. Without it, you got nothing. And we learned the hard way. But we had a letter, and this letter came from Sue and Dana, and they're from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hi, Jerry and Linda. We have a couple of quick questions. First, this is regarding health care. What's your honest opinion of the health care situation in the villages? Meaning, is it incredibly hard or a really long wait to get quick care or a doctor's appointment? So let's stop there and we'll talk about that. First of all, if you talk to 10 people, you're going to get 10 different opinions.
Yeah.
But we have both experienced healthcare in the villages. I had 2 different hospital stays in the last couple of years of 3 days or more. So I got to see it firsthand. She had a couple of hospital stays of that length or longer, probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So we don't feel like experts, but we have a little bit of input.
Yeah.
And first of all, no matter what happened to us, you're going to have a different experience maybe. And we understand that everybody's questions and everybody's comments and everybody's opinions are relevant. But for us, we're going to tell you what happened. Well, I got severely dehydrated and I was dizzy. And I put it off a few days. You know, you think you're going to suck it up. You're going to be all right. And I put it off until we actually had the grandkids here. And I was wanting to play with them. They're adorable. But I couldn't function. So I ended up having to call an ambulance. And that's my first ambulance ride in 70 years. I've never been in an ambulance. And they were there within 10 minutes or so. And they came all the way in with their, what do they call that, a gurney?
Gurney, yeah.
Who came up with that name? Gurney. And they loaded me into that and they strapped me in and they took me out and they put me in the ambulance and they drove me to the hospital. Professional, professional, professional. Those were from the village's fire department. That was the EMS unit. And they took me to Leesburg Regional Hospital. The experience I had there was as near perfect as you can get. I went to the ER. I was in the ER for the better part of a day where they were monitoring me and they were putting IV lines in, and a wonderful experience. And the doctor that attended me there was just great. They took me to a room. It was I wouldn't say a private room, but I was by myself. And the nursing care was off the charts perfect. I couldn't have asked for better. If the president went in there, he wouldn't be getting any better care than I had. The food, he might have got better food, but the care was perfect. Now, I read the next door comments and talk of the villages about healthcare. The people that are dissatisfied complain the loudest, and then they have lots of people chipping in, agree, disagree, whatever. But my opinion was top-notch care from the hospital, the nurses. They have people there called, what do they call those people that move around? Transporters.
Transporters.
They were fantastic, and every single one was friendly and professional.
Yeah, they even had like social workers that would come in, or people would follow up, and this is going to happen now. And they kept him informed all the time who was going to come in and who was going to see you. And it was a revolving door. A lot of people were there to work with you.
But here's the biggest thing for me to tell you to take from that situation. If you're new to the villages, don't wait until you have an emergency to find out which hospital you're going to. Or which doctor you want to use, or which specialist you want to use. Plan that out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because in her case, she had a stroke the first year we were here.
Yeah.
And she went down, and she was out.
Yeah.
And I knew that, with a stroke, it's important to get people to the hospital fast, so I threw her in my car and headed to the hospital, and then I realized I don't know where to go.
We didn't know.
So I took her to the village's hospital because we live in the villages, right?
They were great, though.
They were great.
Fabulous.
She did well. She responded beautifully. She's back to her spunky old self. And she had the same kind of experience I had at Leesburg at the village's hospital.
Yeah.
But like we said, everybody's experience is different. Now, the big disappointment from that whole experience was we were not retired yet. We were retired, but we didn't have Medicare yet.
Right.
We had Humana, and they were not in the Humana network. So about the third day I was there, they hit me with a bill that was humongous, off the charts. You could buy a cruise ship kind of bill. And we ended up, since the ambulance took her there in a life-threatening situation, that they did give us in-network care, as it turned out. But it almost made me go back into the emergency room with a heart attack when I saw that bill.
He was so stressed. It was awful. I thought he was going to have a heart attack.
So get everything lined out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Okay, then you had the stroke.
Yes.
And your doctor recommended that you have a Amplatzer device implanted in your heart.
Right.
So it's to fill a hole that blood was spurting through, causing a clot that made her have a stroke. So they set that up at Leesburg Regional Hospital, my hospital that I just bragged about. And we had the blood tests
Yeah.
and went there for the operation. And we're there that morning, and they call us into the office as she's already there, prepped and ready to go.
With my bag.
And they told us that on second thought, your insurance is not going to cover this.
Yeah. We were already there.
We were
With the
already there at the
scheduled
schedule of our
surgery.
doctor, what's the doctor called? Cardiologist.
Cardiologist, yeah.
So we didn't have the they said you can go ahead and have it, and we'll try to work it out with you. That wasn't good enough because I've already seen the bill from the other hospital. You know what I mean? So we shifted back into gear. It wasn't life-threatening at that time. It was something that could be put off.
Yeah, for a month.
And our doctor told me he also has privileges at Citrus Memorial, which is in Inverness. So we got things straightened out with them. All the insurance was a go. She went up there, and she had the great care there too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic hospital.
We found specialists. We found the hospital. We got the great care. But the sooner you get your thinking done, your planning done, the better off you're going to be. Okay? Make that a priority, especially if you're in the process of moving down here. When you get here, start digging in, and listen, take what you read on Nextdoor with a grain of salt, because you're going to get the complainers. Do your research, find out. I did some research. I tried to find report cards for hospitals because people like to tell you, this hospital's no good, that hospital's no good. And there are several companies that do these grading systems. So let's look at the hospitals that we've used, and I'll show you what the grades were. Now, this was the hospital's grade, and I don't know if this is the best or good or anything else, but it's hospitalsafetygrade.org. And so let's look at Spanish Plains. That's what they call the Villages Hospital now. UF Health Spanish Plains. That's the Villages Hospital. It's given an A. But if you read Nextdoor the other day, you would have thought it had an F minus. So, where do you get your information from? You're just going to have to do your own. Let's look at Leesburg, the one I've been bragging about. They have a grade of B. Again, do your own research and find out what that means. Let's see if I can find the hospital Citrus Memorial. There it is. HCA Florida Citrus Hospital, a grade of B. So I should tell you that there are plenty of hospitals within 40 miles. A, you saw the B's. There are lots of, those people aren't there trying to mess up. They're there trying to do a good job, keep their job, make you satisfied, and get more paying customers. So do your own research. Plenty of hospitals within 40 miles. I mean, all those I just showed you were within 40 miles of here. You've got Claremont, Apopka, Winter Garden. Ocala has several, and our good friend just had brain surgery up there. And she did wonderful, and she was talking about how fantastic that hospital is. Tavares is Advent Health Waterman. You've got another hospital in Ocala. You've got Crystal River. There are hospitals around. You might have to drive a half hour to find the one you want. But the one I went to in Leesburg is probably 20 minutes from our house here.
Yes.
Less if you live down south in the Villages. And the Villages Hospital is probably 15, 20 minutes from here. So you're going to be able to find one.
And they're also going to be able to find emergency cares everywhere, and standalone emergency rooms, also quite a few around. So you are going to find a lot of help.
That's right.
Care.
We're going to come back to the second part of the question. Right now, we're going to go to Bubble Wrap, sponsored by R&R Swimming Pools. If we were going to build a pool, R&R Swimming Pools would be our number one choice.
Hi, Jerry and Linda. Cardio drumming. Have you heard of it? Under a blue, cloudless sky, villagers gathered for a truly exhilarating experience. Cardio drumming in the fresh air. All you need is a yoga ball, a large plastic bucket, and a pair of drumsticks.
It makes you move, and I'm old, so listen to me.
You're not old.
I am 71.
You're doing good.
Thank you, but I can't breathe.
What if the fact that it's outside make it feel good
I
though?
like it a lot.
You move to the beat of music and follow along as instructors guide the group from the stage.
And it's more a social community. Our class is really based on community. They make friends here, they go other places with each other, they learn everybody's names, they learn everybody's habits and what they can do with each other, and they all have a great time here. That's all we're looking for.
Cardio drumming is very popular in the villages. It's a workout that combines dance with cardiac movements. You will work up a sweat as you bounce and move your arms to the beat. And here's the beauty of it. If you find it difficult to follow along, nobody will notice. It's no big deal. The fact that you're moving is enough. Many participants report weight loss by drumming along with the group.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely amazing and fun.
What do you get out of it?
Exercise and fun.
And being outside, it's okay?
It's wonderful outside.
Most of our members have lost 20 to 30 pounds if they're doing it over a year, if they really consistently do it. I lost 35. How many did you lose? A lot.
You can exert yourself if that's your desire, or take it easy if that's your choice. The group has braved chilly temperatures out here and the heat. On this relaxing Thursday, it was Goldilocks perfect.
I like it. Gets all my frustrations when I'm banging on the ball.
But living in the villages, you don't have any frustrations.
We're just visiting.
Most of the participant area had covering over it to shield from the bright sun.
If you want to come for the first time, we'll give you pool noodles and a chair or whatever, and you can still get a fantastic workout and have a lot of fun. And you know, it's about the songs and the friends and, you know, and then you accidentally get some exercise.
Looks like a really good time. You can look up a schedule for Eastport to find out when it's available. I'm Peter Bernard, and that's this week's Bubble Wrap.
Thank you, Peter. Cardio drumming. It's good stuff, right?
Yeah, it gets your heart going.
There's lots of musical things here. Cardio drumming. What's the one in the water?
There's cardio splash.
Cardio
I do
splash.
aerobics.
So a lot of things, and it looks like Peter had a good time there. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah. It's time for Out and About.
Out and About is pretty short and sweet this week. A buddy and I went to Fiesta Grande. That's in the Colony Plaza Shopping Center. It's on the far right end as you go in there. Beef O'Brady's is on the far left end. Fiesta Grande on the far right end. Two good places. Well, I think that Fiesta Grande is my favorite Mexican restaurant here in the Villages. They have multiple locations. They also have one right down in Brownwood. I think they have another one somewhere, but I'm not sure. But on this occasion, I went and I had burritos deluxe. They're so good. I always choose chicken. I got hooked on chicken burritos and chicken chimichangas back in Indiana at the Yellow Cactus in Floyd Knobs. And I thought for a time that we didn't have one of those here, a really great go-to place for Mexican. But Fiesta Grande gives you the chips. They've got great drinks. And they've got a really good Mexican menu. And they do have Taco Tuesdays if you get there on Tuesday.
That's right.
She wasn't with us, so she doesn't know. Greg had the fajitas.
Ooh.
And he got a man-sized fajita, let me tell you. And he ate it all. I saved half of mine, took it home. And I still have it. Oh, no, you ate it last night, didn't you?
I did.
You ate it. She ate the rest of mine.
Yippee.
So good for her. I bring it home and share. You can get two meals out of one sometimes. But Fiesta Grande is a good Mexican restaurant. We're going to part 2 of the question right now.
Is it incredibly hard or a really long wait to get into a quick care or a doctor's appointment?
Especially during snowbird season. Well, there are a lot of urgent care centers. And by the way, our doctor tells us you need to know the difference between an emergency room and an urgent care. There are lots of freestanding emergency rooms, and your bill's going to probably be higher at those. We have a couple of really good urgent care centers. She's been to it. She's a little bit injury prone.
I am.
She's been to it on multiple occasions, and so have I, really. And they have gotten us, we've never waited more in that waiting room than 15 minutes.
Yes, never more than 15
They get
minutes.
us in, they take good care of us, and then they'll take you from there somewhere if you need to go somewhere.
Right.
So urgent care, no problems. We've never gone to a freestanding emergency room.
Yeah, no.
But I hear they're good, but they might be more expensive.
Yeah.
All right, now how about specialists? I have a cardiologist. I haven't gone to him for 2 or 3 years. She has one. We never have trouble getting appointments.
No.
And the good thing about them, some of them have multiple offices. So there's our cardiologists, both of them, and our primary care physician have multiple offices, one in Brownwood, one in Leesburg, one in Brownwood, one in Lady Lake. You know, they know that people don't like to travel, especially older folks, and they have multiple places, so that's good. It depends on the severity sometimes. I know the best and top specialists, you may have to wait 6 months to get in sometimes.
Yeah.
But we've never encountered that. I looked up to see how many doctors were in the villages, but it doesn't matter how many are in the villages. It said hundreds and hundreds.
Wow.
And it said there are over 300, I've got it here, and I just
right
Googled
there.
it. There are over 300 specialists in the immediate area. Those
Wow.
are, you know, that's your cardiologist, that's your dermatologist, that's your, neurologist and things like that.
Podiatrists.
Lots of,
all them.
that's in the villages. And
Wow.
then if you add in Wildwood and Lady Lake and Fruitland Park and Leesburg and
Ocala.
Bellevue, Ocala, you go out to Tavares, you go to Inverness,
Winter Garden.
you're going to find an infinite number of medical providers. I'd rather drive a half hour to a great doctor than to get into a mediocre doctor immediately. So find you one you like, find you one highly rated, and make your appointment. Then check out their bedside manner. And if they're like the one I got for my shoulder one time, I had a motorcycle wreck, I separated my shoulder, I went in there, that guy was a grouch. I never went back to him. Get yourself a nice one. We've got such a nice doctor.
Yeah.
I know you're all going to ask me who it is, but she's not taking more patients. So.
Yeah. And y'all talk about the food, not so good, but you know what? Maybe it's not so good because it might be bland, a lot of seasoning, because they got to take an account of people's health.
You're talking about the hospital?
Yeah, the hospital, not a lot of salt. Because
what was I on? A liquid diet, right?
Yeah, you were on a liquid diet.
How good was that going to be?
That was pretty bad for a couple of days. But yeah, I think hospital food is hospital food.
Now, there was a situation where the village's health, and if I say this wrong, I'm sorry, I don't want to be sued especially by the villages or anybody else, where there was some mishandling of money and things like that, and that's all been being worked out. So I'm not talking about the village's health care at all when I talk about the villages and doctors and things like that. That's a separate thing, but it was an issue. Some of you in the comments can tell us what you found out about that, and that would be good to know. The second part of this question, actually, it sounds like the third part,
Yeah.
is they want to know about taxes. Are the taxes unreasonable here? And insurance costs. Florida is bad when it comes to insurance, but we shopped around and we have found insurance that is good. You know, I'm going to let you know that with homeowners insurance, our company raised the rates to $2,559 a year. That was a big raise for us. And then I shopped around and I found somebody to do it for half of that. So you can always shop around, you know, and homeowners costs are high, but that was with a roof that was 11 years old. And now we've got a new roof, so I hope it either drops or at least stays the same when we renew next year.
Hope so.
And if you want more information about who we use or whatever, you can comment or send us an email and we can talk about that. Now, property taxes. I've heard some horror stories about property tax, but you just laugh at me if you live in Connecticut. You say you don't know what a horror story is, or Illinois or Massachusetts or some of these places where it's sky high. But here our taxes, and I went over this with you, are just over $4,000 per year. That's everything. That's our district fees, that's our whatever. It's not including a bond because we don't have one. But that's our insurance fee for homeowner, and we're well insured. That's pretty reasonable. Now, we didn't pay that much in Indiana, but we didn't pay a whole lot less than that. But we have friends here that pay over $12,000 for a home similar to ours because they have a swimming pool, or maybe they have a view lot, or maybe their assessed value is so much higher. So it runs the gamut. But you're not going to be shocked, I don't think. You'll have a good idea when you come here. The agents should tell you pretty close to what your taxes are going to be. And that's one of the good things. Once you're here and you file that homestead exemption, they can only go up a certain amount, so you're not going to get hit with any surprise, next year, hopefully.
It's time for Ask Amy.
Hey, Jerry and Linda, we're talking about financial literacy this month, and that's just meaning that you understand, you know how your assets are titled, who the beneficiaries are, if those assets are part of the trust, because we know that how your assets are titled will supersede what you've done in a will or a trust. If you want more information, check out our YouTube channel as well.
Thank you, Amy. Amy and the ladies over at the Pittman Law Office do such a fine job. When we came here, we were clueless, just like we were about the hospital situation. And we found out that our will, which we had in Indiana, might be better served by a trust down here, but we didn't know. So we went and saw them. They talked us through it. They helped us. They drew up new documents for us. We recommend them highly.
It's time for Pet of the Week.
Hey Jerry and Linda, this is Lisa from Kentucky. I'd like to introduce you to some of my little creatures. This one is the Schmitty, and she has been with us since 2013, and you can see she's on her little princess pillow here. The first few years she lived with us, she was strictly an outside cat, and at some point she decided she preferred to be inside, so this is her designated spot on the sofa. And then the other parts of my little house panther party, this is Bluebell and Farkas. And Bluebell also adopted us, and she had Farkas with her, and he was pretty good size. So we think they'd been kind of living out in the barn for several weeks. And they're pretty much, they should be outside cats, but it's not a nice day. So they've decided that they're going to take advantage of my generosity, and they're going to just lay here on the couch and nap. So at some point later on, they'll wake up and decide they need to go back outside and wreak mayhem on wildlife outside. But the Schmitty, she likes to just hang out and have you pet her and love her and pretty much just be admired. So that's the Schmitty. We have no idea how old she is, but we're happy to have her, and we're happy to have them be Pets of the Week for you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Now remember, all of you that want to send in a Pet of the Week, do it in landscape fashion and narrate the heck out of it. Tell us all about those little cuties, and we would love to see them.
I meant to tell you earlier that I worked at Bargains and Blessings this past week, and I came across some neat little things. What happened is Goodwill gave a lot of dishes to our store to get rid of, to sell. And so I'm telling you, table after box full of china. And I got a whole mess of these. Little cups, little saucers, and these are the big size. Sometimes there are some little small ones. And then I'm planning soon to have a little tea party. So isn't this fun?
Oh, it is.
Isn't this fun? Jerry goes, oh no, not more tea
We needed those.
We did not need them at all, but I love them. I really love them. My grandmother used to collect them. So anyway, that was my find.
But they were cheap. I mean,
they were selling cup and saucer for a quarter.
A quarter. Whoa! Can you imagine the effort that went into making that? And it's a quarter. That's what's going to happen when we all
I know.
Go to the home. The children are going to sell all your prized possessions for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, yeah. They used to sell these for $4 for this.
I'm going to show them what else you got. Linda bought a complete set of golf clubs. Here they are. Look at that.
I'm going to hit that
How cool
ball
are those?
right now. I'm gonna really hit it. Get out. Isn't that cute? I just love it. Have 3 balls stuck
Got
in
your balls.
the front.
They won't be able to get those out.
I have no idea. Maybe,
Anyway.
Oh, you take the whole thing out.
How much was that?
That was probably $1. You got some good deals there.
There you
Bob.
go.
Blessings.
Yeah. Now that is for our grandson, Finn.
Yeah.
Finn, those are for you. They look like Flintstone golf clubs.
know.
You'll have a good time with those. It's time for the Newcomers crew. Thanks to everybody that writes, that comments, that tunes into our live show, that watches our videos. You're the reason we keep it going. You know, it's actually a full-time job, but it's so worth it because we get to meet you, we get to interact with you. You folks are special to us, and we appreciate every single one of you. Remember now, if you're new to this area, don't forget, find yourself a hospital, find yourself doctors. Decide what you're going to do if emergency strikes. Because we ain't no spring chickens. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of
Mailbag Monday.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button and share it with all your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, and everyone you know. Until next time.
See you when you get here.